Welcome back, Flare community. I hope you're all well and having an incredible day as always. And yes, it is time for the weekly news update where we cover everything that is happening on the Flare and Songbird network. So we're jumping into the biggest news of the week, which is obviously the highly anticipated launch of Firelight. Yes, they do have an official date, which is December the 3rd, which is just a few short weeks away. On December the 3rd, a new era of economic security begins with the launch of Firelight protocol. This marks the start of a new wave of DeFi activity that unlocks real utility for previous idle assets, beginning with XRP. Yes, I know that many of you know about Firelight. Some people may even have FXRP sitting on the sidelines for just this occasion, but wait no more. This is coming imminently, yes, soon, yes, in the near future. December the 3rd is just around the corner. Now, this is absolutely incredible news, and it's going to be really interesting to see how the total value locked, the TVL, on the Flare network will change as a result of this launch. Now, I don't think it takes a rocket scientist to predict that the TVL is going to go absolutely crazy. What does that mean? It means more interest from developers, more interest from participants in the network, more liquidity, more opportunities to earn yield. And I don't know, guys, I feel like we're just on the verge of something very special. We got this post here from AU quoting this video saying, Hugo says, a number of exchanges participating in Firelight. Now, we do already know that there are interested exchanges such as Uphold, Crypto.com, and they have a huge amount of XRP to put to use. These exchanges, they want to utilize opportunities to earn a yield so that they can forward them to their customers. Now, let's just listen into this short video here and see what Hugo has to say on the matter.
Some of the hurdles there are where are the pools of XRP? So you have a big retail pool, but you also have a huge amount of retail that are holding their XRP at custodians and exchanges. So onboarding exchanges, it has been pretty critical for us. That's a process we're very comfortable with where we are. So I think there'll be a number of exchanges participating in Firelight, first of which is already announced, called Uphold. And then really making the experience as easy as possible for retail with smart wallets. So smart wallets allow a XRP user to only ever make transactions on the XRP ledger. They never need to come to Flare. So they can bridge their XRP to Flare and direct where that XRP goes on Flare without ever touching Flare. Just because we have data protocols that can read a memo field on the XRP ledger, so we can basically abstract away all of the complexity of using Flare. That combined with the wallets that work on the XRP ledger, to me, I think that's a huge unlock because getting people to come from XRP into the EVM ecosystem, which is what Flare is really, really tough.
So there you have it, guys. Hugo is extremely excited with the exchanges, but also the unlock from the smart accounts from the xHaven app, which is going to allow you essentially to stay on the XRP ledger, utilize the xHaven wallet, and participate in Flare Network's opportunity, specifically Firelight. So this is going to be flooding the Flare network with XRP that was once dormant, which can now start earning a yield. If you do want to know about these opportunities, feel free to join the Patreon group, the next in the series of the Making Money series, talking about decentralized exchanges, concentrated liquidities, and the various strategies you can employ. You know, we have a lot to cover within this series. Then one after this is going to be specifically about Firelight, getting staked XRP, and then putting it to use in various opportunities such as decentralized exchanges. Right, moving along here, this is quite a big one. There is a new proposal. FIP 14 and STP 11. So let's just run through this really quick. We've said it from the start. Connect everything. These proposals will bring that to life, with Web2 JSON, letting the community propose new Web2 API endpoints as Flare data connector assertion sources. That means developers can unlock real-world assets, prediction markets, gaming, social reputation, deepin, and much more with verifiable Web 2 data on-chain. So I understand that was a lot of technical jargon there, but let me break it down for you in a simple manner. JSON is a Web 2 format, a coding format, right? And what this is going to allow is the community to propose various endpoints. And endpoints just means an entity that can be verified by the Flare data connector. So for example, it could be an official API that gives sports results. And this will allow the Flare data connector to query the result or the outcome of a particular sporting event, which then can be brought on-chain in a decentralized manner for the developers to use and create dApps around. So this has just gone live, or sorry, the notice period has just started. It was actually released today, so November the 20th for a week. We've got this notice period where you can read all about it. Probably will be breaking down this in a later video. And the voting will actually commence on November the 28th for another week. So yeah, great stuff, and looking forward to that proposal. I'm sure it will pass with huge support from the community. But this is not the only proposal that may be on the horizon, because if we look here, if this doesn't excite you, I don't know what will. And Hugo reveals plans for an upcoming governance vote to make Flare become non-inflationary, or better yet, deflationary. Wow, this is going to do wonders for the tokenomics if it actually goes ahead. So it starts here with this proposal from Dr. Schwetti, who basically wrote quite a detailed draft of a proposal that he wanted to propose. And as we know, community proposals are not actually going live just yet. I think it could be something in the future, but right now it is somewhat of a centralized system where Flare make the proposals and offer them to the community. But basically talked a little bit about some of the tokenomics and sort of a buyback and burn sort of scheme. But Hugo replied here, "Do you have access to my computer or something? Jokes aside, we are working through the planning on something similar. We will present it as a governance option when we have some certainty on its effectiveness. My goal, if it can be reached, is for Flare to become non-inflationary, or better yet, deflationary." Absolutely huge news. I'm excited to see what Hugo is cooking behind the scenes. And again, we will see that in the form of an upcoming proposal. We've got this from Clearpool. Xpool total value locked has now exceeded 2 million. So this is a staking platform built on the Flare network for various stable coins, which offer quite generous yields in the form of, or in the range of 8 to 15% APR. Right, moving along here. Gnosis have launched their APY cloud, and I think it's worth reiterating, if you are holding either Helion or Apsis, which is the two governance tokens of the Gnosis ecosystem, you may want to put this to work in the APY cloud, especially if you're not already using it to provide liquidity, right? So yeah, you can head over to gov.gnosis.global, put it in the APY cloud, and you're going to start earning FLR, staked FLR, Helion, Apsis, FXRP, a number of stable coins, and more. Better to put it to use rather than just letting it sit idle in your wallet. Okay, digital dynamics. The Bullnamics collection, which is a homebrew collection, so we do have some special incentives within there. The trait packages have just gone live for anyone that may want to purchase them. One trait package equals 5 individual traits. And as I said, because it is a homegrown collection grown in the Digital Dynamics lab, we can offer some interesting incentives. So one of them is actually a Flare hoodie trait that you can see here, and if you do manage to reveal this particular trait and you fuse it to your base layer, you're going to be able to claim the physical item as well. I've got 10 100% off discounts with free postage, and all you need to do is reveal one of these NFTs from a trait package. So trying to make this a little bit more exciting, but I'm very excited for the Bullnamics collection in general because, like I said, there is going to be a separate inflow in the form of FLR through the next dApp that I launch under the Digital Dynamics umbrella. If you do want to buy the base layers, they are still available over on digitaldynamics.co.uk/collections/bullnamics, and you'll be able to see the mint page just there. Right, this is something that I think is very important to highlight. You look at this image, and this was actually from a community member that sent this in to me, and yeah, basically saying that a scam is sort of being pushed out there. They've managed to get his email somehow, and as you can see, it looks quite enticing. Your flare drop eligibility update. You are eligible for new flare drop distribution cycle based on your holdings and activity across the Flare ecosystem. Wow, that sounds amazing. 50% epoch-based rewards. That is very generous, but let me tell you, it is a hoax. So, let me start with this. You may be thinking it has the same Flare colors and looks something like what Flare would send. Stop right there. Branding can be imitated. This is not Flare, and there is no Flare drop upgrade, no send me 1 FLR and I'll send you 5 back. There is no early sneak peek access to Firelight. There is no exclusive BTC F asset beta test. Anything like that. If something seems too good to be true, it probably is. Always be cautious, and as I say so very often, no matter what, no matter if you think it's Hugo telling you himself, asking or saying that he will give you 1 million FLR, keep your private keys private and keep your secret phrase secret. If you follow this rule, you will avoid 99.999% of scams out there. Just keep your keys secret and never share it with anyone, because that is the access to your account. If you give someone else access to your account, they can transfer assets from your account, okay? Right, ending on a little bit of a brighter note here, and this is something I think that we should all just take a step back and consider in this highly volatile market. If your investing time horizon is long enough, you don't have to worry so much about intraday price movements. Some years ago, I decided investing was better for me rather than trading, and here's why. First of all, most traders actually lose, and that's a fact. But besides that, I value my mental health way too much to worry about checking charts every 5 minutes, stressing over each hourly candle, and losing sleep over the threat of volatile market moves that may negatively affect my portfolio. Instead, I look for assets that I feel are undervalued and put them to use, and compounding them until the price is more aligned with the value. And that's exactly what I'm doing with FLR. I believe that the Flare network is still an uncovered gem, and it has absolutely huge potential because it's doing things that no other network are. It is the only network that has an enshrined oracle. It's focused on data, bringing Web 2 data to the Flare network, bringing data from external networks to the Flare network. The Flare network will be a hub, a community of communities, and starting with XRP, this is showing extreme promise already, but we know that the Flare network is going to swallow multiple networks by offering functionality that they can't get natively. So that is pretty much the video. I would like to thank you all so much for watching. You are in the right place at the right time. Feel free to like and subscribe if you have not done so already. Do have yourself an incredible weekend, and until next time, I'm out.
Mission Control, we have liftoff.